Well, hello again. So, we've done Runecraft before. We did a Wizards of Oz burn deck, and that was a lot of fun. I've, in the past, had a lot of fun playing Daria Dimensional Witch, which is a great card for just tempo plays, because she draws 5 cards and spell boosts them 5 times. She'll also discard your hand before she does that, but often you're able to plan ahead, and it's not a problem. And combining the two, you can make a pretty fun deck. Daria's here to spell boost all of the minions, because Blade Mage Ogler and Witchette, they all have spell boost. And then Wizards of Oz is here to combo up with Piercing Rune and Demonic Strike. And then you got your Clarks and your... where the hell are you hiding? Craig. There's Craig. Their job is just to reduce the cost of Ami Ogler, Blade Mage, and Daria. And it's a pretty fun deck. You could have some problems if Daria draws into a bunch of other Darias. That's kind of weak. I almost always end up having 2 Darias in hand, and that sucks. But overall, I find it a very fun deck. You get to do some pretty creative plays. It's always a fun, how many times could I spell boost everything in my hand kind of situation. But let's not ramble on too much. Let's see how the deck behaves. Alright, let's dive right into our first matchup. The Terror of the Ladder as of a month ago. Blood, now not so present. You still run into a few of them. I've been running into some Aggro Bat, which is a deck I'll probably do pretty soon because it's a really fun deck. And then just your standard Vengeance Blood I've been seeing a lot of. Anyway, trying to draw into some cheap spells so we could start spell boosting early. Not that I have anything with spell boost in here. Yeah. Anyway, these days, Blood's been largely replaced by Shadow. Shadowcraft has been everywhere. Getting real tired of seeing Demon Lord Ector. Alright, so this one is in fact a Aggro Bat. A Vania deck. So our general plan here is to try and get things like Ogler, Witchette, Daria, things that we can reduce the cost of. So we can flood the board with free minions, basically. As always, Time Worn Mage. We want to save him for an evolve target, because it's a super valuable evolve target. Which is what's going to happen very soon. Next turn. They, meanwhile, are trying to keep our board empty and just get a lot of chip damage in. Because it's an aggro bat deck, that's what they do. But like I said, nothing like a good Time Worn Mage evolve here. We can go in for some very favorable trades, and we can clear the board, for the most part. Honestly, using our 3 damage spell there was not the best. We could have gone straight to face and it would have made much of a difference. But, seeing as though they Belphegor'd right after that, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. They did 8 damage to themselves, it would have made my 3 damage pointless. So, in the end, it was good. It was good that I killed a bat with it. Really, it was lucky they were playing a Belphegor deck, because them going down to 10 makes life much easier for me. They really had all their belfs in hand, didn't they? Yeah. Same thing as before. Time Worn Mage is your best high-value evolve target in this deck. And in most Runecraft decks. I mean, come on. You get a 1-cost, 3 damage spell. I just wanted to clear the board, keep a 4/3 body on the table. But, if there's one thing Blood has a lot of, it's removal, so I shouldn't have expected that to stick around. But, all we're really looking to do is draw a bunch of cards, because eventually we're going to run into some of our better tempo plays. As you can see, every time I cast a spell, Ogler's getting cheaper and cheaper. And there's Daria, showing up way too late. But we have a Clark, He'll help. And as you can see there, they're looking to keep the board clear and put a bunch of cheap bodies on the table. And there's the double Daria, the worst thing to see in your hand. Because again, when you play Daria, she's going to discard anything else you have in your hand, so you can never play two Darias at the same time. It's such a waste. It feels terrible. Happens to me all the time. And there's Vania, looking to push those batship damages into play. But because they're at such a low health total, they are forced to trade constantly. They can't really go face all that often. And once Daria hits the table, it's close to over at that point. This is the end. The Crimson Sorcery does 3. Oh, I was stupid. Can I not count? I had lethal right there. I could have done 3 to face, and then played both Blade Mages for 4 more damage. What a lame misplay. There goes the board. But then they did that, so it didn't matter. Bringing themselves down to 2, not a smart idea. At this point, I emoted a thank you, and it was over. Alright, moving right along into our second matchup, the Scourge of the Ladder, Shadowcraft. Specifically mid-range Shadowcraft running Demon Lord Ector, which means we want to try and end the match before turn 7 or as close to turn 7 as we can, without going over. Or if we can't, trying to keep the board relatively clear so they can't get a billion burst damage on the table. I've also seen a few people running some Nep decks, which are fun. I like those. It's always exciting when they pull 4 minions and kill them and all the effects go off. I'm thinking about building one of those decks myself. I recently got myself a Nep. And as you can see, like always, I have 2 goddamn Daria Dimensional Witches in my hand, which is the worst. Why? Why can't I have one at a time? So we're just looking to reduce the cost of Daria as quick as we can so we can really push damage out. Because again, turn 7 is when Ector becomes playable, and that's a terrifying turn. We want to put them in a position where they can't play Ector effectively. Reducing him down so they're always the brink of death. Of course, the problem with Ector is if you're threatening a bunch of damage on the board, they get a board full of 4/2 rush zombies and they can clear the board very easily. So it's tricky. But that's why this deck is not just a Daria Dimension Witch, it's also Wizardess of Oz, where you're looking to push that burn damage through. It also helps when they play Death's Breath and they get their 2/3 zombie wards. So far, pretty standard. They're building up their shadow count. All the usual shadow fun guys are here. Alright. Goodbye, 1 Daria Dimensional Witch. Banished forever. But we do get a Blade Mage, which is the ideal pull for Daria in this deck. I have a pure Daria deck that I'll display at some point, and that one you're looking to push a lot of spells down too. Mortal Fame. This guy's fun. So each of these guys has a, whenever another ally follower is destroyed, deal 1 damage to the enemy. So you want to kill these first. Hey, there's Wizardess. This will be very helpful soon. Take care of them, and then get rid of the big boy. He's gonna get a nice free Lich King. But that's fine. Or a White King. Sorry. I am excited for the Frozen Throne... Knights of the Frozen Throne expansion coming out soon for Hearthstone, so... Lich King's on the mind. So we haven't done the 4. This is the ideal place to be here. Because I have Demonic Strike in hand, and we have Wizardess of Oz in hand. Playing Wizardess means there's a very real chance we're going to pull the last point of damage we need. There it is. Piercing Rune. So now, all spells are reduced to 1. I'll play Insight just to BM a little bit, because I'm a monster. And then Piercing Rune and Demonic Strike to finish. A little bit of good old burn using the Wizardess of Oz. Alright, we had some blood, we had some shadow. Let's have some sword. And if you're seeing sword, it's probably safe to guess that you're going to be up against a neutral sword deck. Which means turn 9 is the turn we're looking to win by. Or at the very least, getting them to use all of their evolve points before turn 9, that way, stupid jerk, Levin Saber Albert, or whatever friggin' his name is. The guy who can do 10 damage in 1 turn. So we want to be above 10 damage, 10 health rather. Or we want to kill them before turn 9, when he becomes playable. It's just like when you're up against Havencraft. Turn 9 is the worst turn, you don't want that to happen. Stupid Aegis. So, like always, we're looking to play spells. That's why Conjure Golem is such a powerful spell in this deck. It gets you a 2/2 body, but it also spell boosts. It's also why we like Craig and other guy with a dumb name, because they're bodies that also spell boost. So we already got Daria down to 6, and that's a good cost for Daria. Of course, free is even better. And I'm real greedy. And we're up against one of these guys. A deck I do need to make at some point, because that stupid frog. So if you haven't seen this before, and I don't know how you could ever miss it if you're playing Shadowverse, Vagabond Frog, at the end of your turn, gets Ambush. Which means if you just keep on pumping up Vagabond Frog, you have an unkillable, invisible assassin who's always coming at you. And the way to get around that is to hope he doesn't have Blade Whirl and just flood the board with enough damage that they're forced to give up. Didn't think it would be over that fast, but it was. We should probably do another one. Alright, let's finish this off with Haven. Another deck I've been seeing more of ever since the nerfs hit. I am curious what changes we might see at the end of the month, because if I remember, August 28th they're announcing changes and 29th they go into effect, and with the rise of Ector being just everywhere, I'm wondering if Ector's gonna get a nerf, or if maybe cards that are associated with him will. Not that Ector really associates with other cards, he just shows up and obliterates. But we'll see. I'd be very curious to see if they're going to do anything to keep Shadowcraft from becoming the new blood. Or maybe they're fine with it. I don't know. I've been seeing decent variety. It hasn't been only Shadow. So it's Havencraft. They're doing their normal thing where they pile a whole bunch of things they're going to count down and blow up into minions or card draw. I, meanwhile, are just gonna try and push damage. I want to kill them before turn 9 because I fear Aegis. Oh, get ready to see me misplay hard around this guy. I always forget that the Temple Defender receives 1 less damage than what it should receive. So if I attack with a 2/2, it's only going to do 1 damage. Dumb. A dumb move on my part. And believe it or not, I'm not done being dumb with that card. I'm pretty sure I mess up again next time. So they evolve. They go for the face. And at this point, I'm still unsure of what kind of Havencraft deck I'm up against. It doesn't seem to be a Storm Haven deck. So it might just be a control deck and they don't have all of their control cards. Otherwise, I would expect to be black and scriptured to hell and back again by now. The other thing I'm trying to do right now is turn 6 is when they'll be able to Themis' Decree and clear the board. I'm trying to get as much board presence and damage through before that happens. Not that I have to worry too much. They can't clear every one of my minions, which means I win now. Because if I evolve my Ogler and I use Demonic Strike, we have 8 damage. When you draw well, you win fast with this deck. So yeah, that's a nice little spell boost Daria and Oz deck. I think it's a fun combination between the burn effects you can get with Wizardess. Blah. Sorry, I'm all allergy affected today. I could barely breathe through my nose and talk here. And the bonuses of Daria's severe tempo plays. It's like a card engine that never quits. It's rare for you to have less than 5 cards in hand, because by the time you clear out your hand, you've drawn into a Wizardess, which will bring you back up to 5, or you've drawn into a Daria, which is going to bring you back up to 5. And then you have your Blade Mages that have Storm, your Oglers are usually free when you're playing them, and your Witchettes are usually free when you... free when you play them. If you're looking for a very dynamic deck, I suggest this one. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Really don't have much else to say about this one. It's pretty fun and straightforward. I'll be doing probably a weirder, more memeier deck next time, because that's really my bread and butter. I like the stupid decks. I like absurd combos, I like hard control. This is just a fun, effective deck if you're looking to steamroll your opponents, unless you get a shitty hand, in which case you're going to be crushed, because nothing's slower than not having any of the engine pieces to this deck. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.